Ja, herzlich willkommen zu einer neuen Ausgabe SI-Talk und heute habe ich eigentlich einen alten Gast, also von der Firma her, Avrupa Minerals. Wir haben mit dem Paul schon einige Interviews gemacht, ist allerdings schon eine Zeit lang aus. Und heute habe ich Mark T. Brown bei mir, er ist Chairman and Director.
Yes.
Und ich habe wieder was Neues gelernt, der Chairman ist eigentlich der wichtigste überhaupt. I learned one new thing, Chairman is the most important guy in a company.
It's a big title. It can be, and it depends who it is. Sometimes it can be administrative.
Yeah.
I'm one of the largest shareholders of the company also.
Okay.
So, and we started the company in our office here. So that's why I have that title. And I also call myself kind of executive chairman because
Okay.
I'm actively involved in the company and the transactions they do and the financings they do.
Okay, great. Then for my chairman was a great name, yes, but I don't know. It's you know, in Europe we have a different
So managing director.
Yes. And then we have Aufsichtsrat. It's then more, I think, president also, but there is no comparable. So, but we talk about Avrupa, and I said also in my German introduction that we have in the past some interview with Paul.
Yes.
And maybe you can give us a small overview about the company before we go more to details. Then,
Talk about projects. Okay.
Yes.
So, first of all, the word Avrupa is actually a Turkish word, and it means Europe.
Okay.
Because we are exploring for base metals and precious metals in Europe, and particularly in Portugal and in Kosovo. And those are two areas of the world that are known for their mineral endowments. They have large areas, the Vardar Trend in Kosovo and Serbia in that area, and the Iberian Pyrite Belt down in Portugal. So Paul Kuhn, the CEO, joined us about 10 years ago, and we put this company together, and we've been exploring various projects in those areas. And the other important thing about the company is that we fund our projects by finding partners on our projects. So we've had several projects funding quite a bit of exploration for us, and it means we don't have to raise quite as much capital to survive. It keeps our dilution limited, although we do have now about 114 million shares outstanding. But we also just signed an agreement with a very large partner to explore on one of our projects, so that brings in quite a bit of funding.
Okay. What are the most advanced projects in your company?
So the most advanced project is the Alvalade project, which is in southern Portugal in the Iberian Pyrite Belt, which is known for copper, lead, and zinc. And in that project, we had a partner called Antofagasta Mining for several years. And they unfortunately they had budget cuts and they had to get out of the project. But they did fund some discovery drill holes in that area where we were hitting average 2% copper and greater in those drill holes. There's no resource on that project yet, but there is a historic mine on that project that was not fully mined out that has remaining resources on it. And that mine is about between 3 and 6 kilometers away from where we hit these new high-grade copper, lead, zinc drill holes. So that's our most exciting project right now, and we've just signed a transaction with a very large company to fund more exploration on that project.
You can say any names? Or?
Yes, it's been announced. It's a Spanish company. It's called Matsa, M-A-T-S-A, and they have 3 mines in the same region, but on the Spanish side of the border. And those 3 mines are all VMS deposits as well. Copper, lead, zinc, exactly what we've been finding on our Alvalade project. Matsa is a very large company that's owned by a fund and a Swiss metals trader that are both multi-billion-dollar entities. And it produces very good cash flow. I went and saw their mine, and their mine is it's the cleanest mine I've ever been to. It was very well run. The people were all very professional. It was very good to meet with them. That's when we were negotiating the transaction, which was just in the fall. And we're just about to complete that transaction in terms of transferring our license on this Alvalade project into a new company. And then Matsa will fund the exploration on that project, which we expect to be quite a bit of drilling. So we've already hit copper, lead, and zinc over a 1.8 kilometer long trend in multiple drill holes. But there's still a lot of drilling to do to get to a resource stage estimate.
When they will start the drilling?
Well, we hope to start very soon. As soon as the license is transferred over, we're already planning for the drilling. We've already done quite a bit of drilling, so it'll happen very quickly. Probably by April, maybe by May. And we've been telling people in a lot of instances that drilling is like the test. When you go to school, it's like your examination. And in order to do well on that exam, you need to study a lot. And we have studied this project a lot. So Paul Kuhn identified this project early on in the days of Avrupa. And one of the first things they did was took out 60,000 meters of drill core from this area, and they studied that. And then they did surface sampling and geophysics. Then we had Antofagasta come in and drill, and we actually hit something on our second hole. So we've done a lot of homework. We've even done some drilling on this. And now when Mats is drilling it, which is really the final exam, we expect to do very well because we're very well prepared and very well targeted in our drills.
How the joint venture looks like? So what they get or what you get then when they really have a big success? So
the terms aren't huge in the beginning. It's about 2.4 million euros of expenditures to earn 51%. And then they have to also pay us 400,000 euros in cash, which they'll probably do in the next month or so. But the next stage, where they can go to a higher level earn-in, they can go up to 80%, and that calls for them to do a full feasibility study. So that feasibility study means you would have a resource estimate done and all the engineering done and metallurgy done. That's 20 to 30 million euros possibly. And what's particularly interesting about this group is that in Spain, they drilled a hole in a new project. When they only had 2 mines, they were doing exploration. They drilled a hole, made a discovery, and they put that deposit into production just over 2 years after they started drilling. It's unheard of, but they're a private company. They pushed on the engineering, they pushed on the permitting, and that's the 3rd mine they have operating now in Spain.
Wow.
So this is a group that moves very quickly, which we really like because exploration, time is money. You want to get out there and you want to get drilling. So if they start to drill and see what we think is there and they get excited about it, I wouldn't be surprised if they had multiple drills on the ground and we came to a resource very quickly in the next few years, which means they would spend a lot more than just the 2.4 million euros that the agreement calls for. And so far in dealing with them, they've been a fantastic partner to work with. They've been responsive and they're nice people. They've been over to the project several times. So we're really looking forward to getting this drilling happening in April or May.
But I know exactly you don't have only one project, you have many projects.
Yes.
Do you have other partners where we can expect more news flow this year?
Well, we have made a gold discovery in Kosovo also. So in Kosovo, we discovered about 120,000 ounce deposit, average about 5 grams per ton gold. Fairly high grade, but it's fairly small. And our partner on that project is called Burncut International. They're an Australian mining contractor, actually. They're a very large company. And they've basically been diluting us on the project. When we saw that it didn't look really, really big, we thought we would hold back on our expenditures. So we'll end up probably with a 2% royalty on that project. And so there might be some news coming on that if they decide to do another work program this year, or we'll definitely be diluted to a royalty. But we also are looking at other projects to work on in Kosovo as well. So Kosovo has only been a country for about 10 or 12 years now. And during those years where it was at war and trouble, there was no exploration done probably for the past 30 years. But it's known as a very well-known mining area, particularly for base metals, but we also discovered some gold there. So there's a lot of projects we have there that we really like, and we're in the process right now of doing some early stage work on some of those projects, and then we'll look for partners on those ones. Back in Portugal, we also have other projects that some we've acquired, some we've let lapse, but Paul Kuhn lives in Lisbon. He's the CEO, he's a geologist. Very good manager of the projects, very good at identifying new projects. and very good at finding partners for them as well. So we don't have any other partners on any of those other projects right now, but we're in the process of talking to some of them. Mm-hmm. And we've also been looking in other areas of Europe. So Paul's actually, he lived in Turkey for quite a while, and he actually lived in Norway, and we're looking in both those areas. We've also looked in Morocco as well. So there's some areas of Europe, you don't really think of Europe as mining, but there's some historic areas there that are very prolific mining areas, just like South Portugal. And they're very mining friendly, and they're known for finding very large deposits. So we're keeping our eye out in those areas to find some new projects and bring in new partners.
Shareholder structure. Yeah.
So we have several very large shareholders. One of our German directors, Frank Hogel, who I think you know, is a very large shareholder. He's around 9.9%. And he also has a group of other Germans that hold our stock. And generally, the European investors that we have are very good long-term shareholders. Our office and management combined owns around 15%, probably a little bit more these days. But then we have a large shareholder down in California, another very wealthy gentleman down in Mexico who's also a large shareholder. So most of them are individuals who manage their own pools of fund or family funds. And they've been holding for quite a while. Most of them participate in the financings we do each time. So they top up and usually keep under 9.9%. So there's probably about 50 to 55% of the shares that are held by very close associates. And one of the reasons we know that is because we raise all the money ourselves. So even if a broker comes into our offering, we know exactly who the end buyer is of those shares. So we keep very close watch on our share structure. So and our shares have not been trading very well in this down market. But the key is that we've got drilling coming up. And drilling is the thing that really moves a stock when you get drill results. And that's what we've been really focused on doing, is getting that drilling. So this year we'll have one project drilled and hopefully a lot of drilling on that one project. And then we'll be working on finding more projects and joint venture partners to hopefully next year get some drilling done. It's interesting. We've had usually 2 drill programs in this company every year since in the 10 years we started it. And that's what allowed us to find the gold deposit in Kosovo and the VMS Alvalade project in Portugal.
Mark, thank you for the update. You make a great summary. Normally I make the summary, but this was really a great one. But this means we will see from Matza the big drill results, or drilling will come, and that is the big news flow. Then maybe in Kosovo comes something, but we cannot say exactly. And also maybe that new joint ventures coming up, and from them we will see a work program. But this is,
Yeah, I mean, the big thing is Alvalade right now. That is the big focus right now, and there's a whole bunch of other stuff working away in the background, which hopefully maybe 6 months we'll have some more news on those things as well.
Perfekt. Ja, als Update von Avrupa. Wir haben immer gewusst, die machen in Europa was. Portugal, Kosovo, das sind die 2 großen Länder, wo sie drinnen sind, also wo sie was machen. Sie schauen allerdings auch in andere Länder auch. Ich habe nicht gewusst, dass Avrupa der Name auf Türkisch eigentlich Europa heißt. Wieder was Neues dazu gelernt. So, aber was jetzt das Wichtigste ist, bei einem Projekt, was sie haben, wo früher Antofagasta was der Previous.
The first, yeah.
Antofagasta drinnen war, die haben sie zurückziehen müssen, weil sie das Budget gekürzt haben sie jetzt einen neuen Partner, einen spanischen, der 3 Minen in Spanien betreibt, der private Gesellschaft ist, nicht börsennotiert, und sind furchtbar schnell, extrem schnell scheinbar. Die haben es die eine Mine vom Discovery Hole bis zur Produktion in 2 Jahren geschafft, und die wollen jetzt aggressiv dort loslegen. Das Drillprogramm soll so im April oder sowas starten, und von dort an kriegen wir einen schönen Newsflow, und das wird dann auch relativ schnell gehen. Also sie können 51% relativ einfach kriegen für 2,4 Millionen, allerdings bis zu 80% erst dann, wenn sie eine fertige Pre-Feasibility Study. That's mean Pre-Feasibility Study up to 80%. Is this right?
Full feasibility study.
Full.
Yes.
Full also eine volle Feasibility Study bis 80%. Da muss extrem viel gebohrt werden, da kommt auch die Methodologie dazu und. Also das ist extrem viel Arbeit. Aber wenn die wirklich so einen Speed haben drauf, dann könnte es dort einen extrem großen Newsflow geben. So, das ist eigentlich der große Treiber. What is the market cap at the moment?
It's about 4 million Canadian.
Ja.
It's very small.
Ja, sie haben 4 Millionen Market Cap, also quasi nichts, haben 150 Millionen fully diluted Aktien draußen, 400.000 kriegen sie von dieser Transaktion, das heißt, sie brauchen nicht unbedingt jetzt momentan Geld und sie suchen quasi noch Joint Venture Partner, die ihre anderen Projekte dann auch weiter betreiben. Das heißt, sie sparen da relativ viel Geld ein, weil die anderen eigentlich das Geld ausgeben. Natürlich kriegt man dann, wenn so ein Projekt in Produktion geht, relativ wenig, aber das ist natürlich, dafür haben wir halt viel weniger Geldausgaben. Bei 4 Millionen Market Cap ist da nicht viel vertan, muss man ehrlicherweise sagen. I think you do a small private placement round with 5 cents.
Yes,
is
we
right?
did. Yeah, just in December.
And the share price is trading at the moment.
It's about 3-4 cents.
Ja, so.
Ja.
Also sie haben erst vor kurzem im Dezember 5 Cent Placement gemacht, wahrscheinlich als die meisten selber, die Direktoren und das Management. Und ja, der aktuelle Kurs ist bei 3,5 Cent. Das heißt, können die Spanier wirklich delivern, dann werden wir den Aktienkurs ganz woanders sehen. Ich habe den Bohrkern, der liegt neben mir, da reden wir von über 2% Kupfer, 80-90 Gramm Silber, 3-4% Blei und Zink. Das ist ein richtig cooler Bohrkern. Und wenn die das bestätigen können, dann geht dort richtig die Post ab. Ist ein Zock, ja, ist so, aber kann halt extrem spannend sein. Unter 5 Cent können sie ja nicht finanzieren und deswegen ist bei 3,5 Cent es eine sehr billige Aktie, sagen wir es mal so. Ja, das war's von Avrupa im Jänner 2020, Vancouver. Tschüss und Baba. Thank you.
Dankeschön.
You speak German?
No.
No.
Nein.